Okay, good afternoon folks, and welcome back once again to F1 Manager 23 really. So, welcome Joker Jake, welcome. Thanks for stopping on by. Hertcovered, would welcome to you too. Off sick from work today, so perfect time for a stream. Oh, that's good. It's a bit warm, I'm going to have to open the window, bloody hell. Okay, I'll open the window. I've gone from being cold this morning wearing a dressing gown to now overheating. Now that work's finished. Anyway, here we are. We're going to dive in. Things to do and all that. Oh, it's a bit cold. Can't make my mind up. So anyway, we're here at the British Grand Prix. Last race we were at Montreal. We had a great result. We've had a good season clearly so far, and things can only get better. Well, technically they could only get worse really because we're doing really well, but nonetheless, since the last race we have got new side pods on the car and we have got a new suspension. Or was it a shaft? It's a suspension. So we got upgrades. It's a couple more upgrades on the car, very minor upgrades, but nonetheless every little helps, to quote Tesco's I think it is. So how does that fare? Well, what we've done is it's the British race, British Grand Prix Silverstone. So we have a British constructor and we have a British lineup with Hamilton and Norris. So I thought we better give them both the best chance possible to win the race. So I have given them, obviously the upgrades have come, and I have given them a brand new engine, brand new ARS, brand new gearbox, so their parts are sparkling new, in the hope that that's going to give them the best chance to get a good result today. Now, a spanner has been thrown in the works because we do have light rain. So how's that going to affect? Well, we shall check it out in a second. But before we do, let's check out the result of qualifying, where something went a bit wrong. So look at the qualifying results. So this is the practice results. Clearly it means nothing. This is the qualifying result. Notice something about the qualifying? Hamilton's on pole, yes, very good. Where's Lando Norris? Where's Lando gone? Well, folks, let me tell you. So first of all, Lewis Hamilton got pole position by the biggest margin of the season so far. For us. He got pole by 3/10. He got pole by 3/10. He was absolutely on fire in qualifying with the new parts, with the upgrades. He was consistently quicker by at least 3/10 over the rest of the field. So that's a good start, and that's a good sign for the race. What happened to Lando? Well, he qualified down in P15. Because what happened was really unfortunate, really, to be fair. It happened in Q1, because if you notice his Q1 time isn't marvellous either. Compared to 126.5, he got a 120. Oh, he got 126% actually. It's not too bad, but it was worse off than that until this last lap came in. Because basically what happened was we timed the runs for when there was no traffic on the track according to the data. Now normally what I do is I do one run at the start of the session, see how it goes, and then I do one run at the very end of the session. When everybody's gone out, we go out last, get a guaranteed clear run, and that's what we always do. Whereas this time I tried to be a bit more clever. And I sent them all out, both out for a first run, and then I sent them out for their second runs, not at the end of the session, but according to the little data thing, at the time where the cars come in after their first runs, there's a period of pause, and then the cars go out for their second run. So for that sort of period of time, there's a window where there's no or very little cars on track. And I put Hamilton in it both times, relatively fine, and Lando went out after Hamilton by only 5 seconds, if that. And both his Q2 runs, the first run and his second run, as he was going down the pit straight, the track, or as he was coming in to do his hot lap, the track was clear, and then a car, both times, first time it was a Red Bull, the second time it was a Ferrari, decided now's the time to go out. So they went out, he was bombing down the straight, And then as he got to the straight, Silverstone, it's a straight, and then it's a bit of a slight right turn, then a left turn, and there's a sharp right turn into Village. As he was basically coming to the exit of the pit lane, the flipping cars came onto the track in front of him. Bang! Literally, both times. They couldn't have timed it any worse. Straight out. So Riz going down, and then, oh, there's a car. Just come out of the pit lane right at the same time for both laps. I could not believe it. It was the most unfortunate timing. So he absolutely, as we know, the AI is crap at getting out of the way of AI cars that are going much slower. And so rather than drive round the slow-moving vehicle, which was offline, really, Lando decided to brake heavily. So that's what happened to him. He's starting in P15. Unfortunate, but it's the nature of the beast. So in future, we will not try that strategy again, and we will always resort to going out at the very end of qualifying, like we always have done for the entire series. I don't know why I tried something different. I thought I'd give it a try. So he's got his work cut out, but he does have a helping hand. Oh, to be fair, that isn't the entire story. Because the entire story is, before we dive into the race, that I abandoned his hot lap the second time round. And so we're like, okay, go straight back to the pits, fresh set of tyres on, and straight back out again, and you might get across the line in time to do another hot lap. And that was looking touch and go, but it was looking like it was going to happen. And then Lando spun off. He spun off, which wasted another 10-15 seconds, which guaranteed he wasn't going to get a third run in Q2, because I did have a spare set of tyres for him to use. But he spun it when he was doing his in-lap to get a fresh set of boots on to go out a second time. Had he not have done that, we would have got a third hot lap in, and he may well have qualified in the top 3. So that's the whole story. Missed that last bit out. So he does have some blame in this as well as the bad strategy calls to get him out into traffic. But anyway, exactly, Joker J. I hope the last patch note's supposed to have fixed that. It hasn't, has it? But anyway, so yes, he does have his work cut out for him, but that's not a bad thing, because today there's going to be rain. Now, it's not looking like it's going to be a massive kind of rain variable issue where sometimes it's raining and sometimes it's not raining, and we could see 3 stops, 4 stops. It's looking like it's going to rain and stay kind of damp and then go dry, which kind of doesn't mean there's going to be that much of a variable strategy, because everyone's just going to come in when it rains, stay on the inters for a little while. There might have to be a second set of inters at some point, and then go into dries. So it's not going to be that variable, that much scope for, strategic genius, I don't think. You never know. So it still might be difficult, but with rain in the air, there could be some hope. Now, the optimal strategy for this track, ordinarily, would be 2 stops. Medium, hard, medium is the optimum strategy. And we have 2 sets of mediums available, because we were preparing for this kind of strategy. We have a fresh set of softs available and a set of hards. So we can do any of these strategies if we wanted. If it was dry. It's not. It's going to be wet. So what we're going to do is, it's going to start raining round about lap 5. So we're going to put a set of softs on. Clearly, because the softs can last at least 5 laps, and then we're going to put inters on and see what happens. So there's no strategy really other than hang on a second, pal, what are you doing there? No, siree, what's happened here? Bloody. Okay, we'll do that. Let's just change that. Let's just change that to soft. Then fine. Want it on soft tyres. There we go. That's fine. Actually, no strategy. And we just have to manually pick a set of softs. Ah, there you go, look at that. There we go, that's how we do this. Hang on a second, folks. That's right, so we're blasting off the line, fresh set of soft tyres, saved from qualifying. Same for Lando. I don't know if the AI have got a set of softs saved for the race, but we certainly have prepared. Look, he's got 2 sets of softs saved for the race, because You screwed up. Anyway, so, yes, soft tyres. Clearly going to be pushing them really hard off the line because they only have to last 5 laps. And then we're going to go on to the inters. Possibly. I mean, I don't think it's going to be wet weather. I think it's going to be inter weather. Drivers pushing off the line. Lando in 15th. Hamilton on pole. So without further ado, folks, let's dive in to the home race for us Brits. It's the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Let's see how we fare today.
It's a bit of a cloudy day for the race, but
okay. We will ride on board with Lewis for the start, and then we're going to switch to Lando quite quickly. Looks a bit murky. Looks a bit murky, but it is lights out. It is away we go, and we're bombing down the pit straight here at Silverstone. As it looks like Perez has got past Max Verstappen there at the start, and he's right on the rear wing of Lewis, but Lewis is still in P1, and he's pushing hard. There we go. And he's got off nicely. He's quite secure. Lando Norris was up to P14. He was up to P12, I noticed for a brief moment, but he's in P14 at the moment. Round the outside, we're looking 3 abreast here, as he's side by side with the Williams. And he's up into P13. Not a bad start. Could have been worse. Could have been a little better. But ultimately, he's made up 2 positions. And ultimately, that is not too shabby. We won't watch it again because we're riding on board. We shall ride on board with Lando. So we're going to go down to neutral here for both cars. We are going to push the engine. We're going to balance it for Hamilton because he's fine to push the tyres there. Keep Lando on attack though, because Lando is clearly not in a favourable position compared to Hamilton. So riding on board with Norris as he's trying to get past Gasly. Anyway, what's the plan for this evening and the weekend ahead? Well, first of all, how's my week been? My week has been okay. It's not been spectacular. It's been a shorter week, of course, because it was bank holiday, so that's always nice. Haven't done anything spectacular. Just played some football, done some exercise, done some healthy eating, and confronted from my window a potential burglar, in my garden. Action-packed, I suppose. Weekend plan. So Hamilton is streaking ahead. Look how far he's ahead already. He's like, see you people, this is like the days of the Mercedes 2020 or even the Mercedes in 2014-15. 2 laps 3 seconds. It's like the Red Bull now, just cruising round. 3 seconds in 3 seconds in, is that a lap? A lap and a half. That's insane. Verstappen's like, get out of my way, Perez, you're slowing me down here. Sorry. And the Ferraris are behind the Red Bulls. Ricciardo in 8th, lead Mercedes. The Alpines, speaking of the Alpines, they're looking pretty good this weekend in real life. Barcelona. I read something on Twitter, I think it was, where the Alpine boss or somebody from Alpine says, we're going to do very well in Barcelona, watch this space. And I was like, really? I don't think so. And in P1, in practice session 1, Alpines looked pretty good. Maybe they were right. The Mercedes looked horrible. But it's only practice, of course, doesn't mean anything really, but it does give you a slight indication. Max Verstappen looked insanely fast, which bodes ill for the race. Could be very dull watching him drive around, cruising to victory. In other news, and remember the final sector of Oh, we got an incident. Hang on. I'm on the wrong driver. Sorry about that.
Was that a lock-up on the track?
Stroll locking up here. We're a bit of a DRS train, unfortunately. So, although we are looking like we're trying to go round here. Wait, P12, not, there we go, we got past, P12, very good. And he's got his foot down here, down the old pit straight. That's it, Lando, keep it going, son, keep it going. You've got a lot of work to do today. You can't afford to be dithering. As Hamilton is 4.3 seconds ahead. That's the pace of this car that we've got today. You've got to make it count, Lando. Why people have gone to medium tyres? In fact, the entire grid has started on medium tyres when rain is coming in 5 laps. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that they need to fix in the next game. Just, you know, obvious things like this, because clearly in real life they would not be starting on soft tyres, on medium tyres. They would just not. If you're that certain that rain is coming in this race early,
Doing a good job so far.
you would not start on medium tyres. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so I was talking about weekend plans
McLaren with a great
as we
overtake.
continue to move up through the field with Lando here. So yes, tonight I'm going to my friend's house, but I'm going to my friend's house at 7:30. I usually go about 4, but I'm going a bit later today because she's going out for a bottomless brunch. So I thought, well, if you're going for a bottomless brunch, I was invited, by the way. I was like, nah, I can't be bothered with bottomless brunches. I'm going to have just finished work for a start, so you know, and I could do a stream instead. You go and have your fun with your work colleagues. I'm going to do this, and I'll see you at 7:30. So I'm going to pick her up at 7:30, and then we'll have evening festivities, drink some rum, have some. Well, I'll have some food. She'll have eaten, and have a catch up. So that's this evening. Tomorrow I'm off to the Birmingham NEC. Because it's a gaming convention, tabletop gaming convention, second one of the year. I went to London last month for the big one. Then tomorrow is another one in Birmingham. So I'm off to Birmingham tomorrow as we're powering past these vehicles here. Look at this. Lando is just siving through here. Absolutely fantastic. So dispatches of Bottas and then dispatches of Russell. Like they're stationary. So we're going to turn that down now until we catch up, and then we'll turn it back up again. Rain is not coming yet, but is predicted to be coming soon. Yep, still coming. I mean, wouldn't it be something if the weather forecast was wrong and rain didn't come? We can still make the strategy work, though, because we can go into mediums and then onto hards. It'll be fine. But it is going to rain. It's going to rain, folks. Okay, we've been assured it's going to rain. So that's my weekend plan. Sunday, I'm going to watch the race, and then play some football. So that's going to be my weekend. Really, nothing. I mean, Birmingham would be nice, I suppose. A bit different, going to another convention. But ultimately, yeah. So I was just about to say, hello, welcome Ambrister, and welcome. Ambrister.
Take care, it is raining.
Oh, it's starting to rain.
All good.
Starting to rain. Hang on, folks. Starting to spit. Starting to spat. Starting to rain. Oh. So, yes. I was going to say, obviously we were at Barcelona in real life. Yes. If you noticed, if you watch practice, or you keep up to speed with F1, since 2007, they installed a kind of a, not a chicane, but kind of a left, or right complex. Loads of people are going into the pits now. I kind of feel we should have gone into the pits with Norris and taken a risk, because he's, of course, out of position. Hamilton can afford to go a bit longer. This is a bit silly fun. I should have too busy talking. Inters. I think it's going to be Inters. We'll see what the other people put on. If they put on wets, we might change Inters. We can stack them because Hamilton's too far ahead. So, okay.
So box the end of this lap.
It'll be interesting because until it gets to 2 millimeters of wreck, I've got to do a full lap. So I think coming in now for Inters is probably slightly better. Actually, I think it's quite close. You know, I think it is quite close as to whether coming in now or coming in at the end of this lap is the best strategy. I think until it gets to 2 millimeters, soft tyres perform all right. I think. I hope. Otherwise, Norris is going to be going further backwards. It seems fine. In fact, it's not massively wet. It's getting a bit drier, in fact. It's getting a bit drier. We're on soft tyres now. We're cruising around the inside. Now, also in real life, I don't know if the game replicates this, but in real life, in these kind of dampish situations, these greasy situations, soft tyres are better because they grip better than the harder compounds in the kind of changeable weather. So right now in real life, these softs would be much better than these mediums. So we really could do with pushing a bit more, maybe a bit of deployment. Let's get past where we can. It's getting drier. This isn't into weather. I think we've done a good job keeping ourselves out a bit longer. I also think that we need to cancel this off. Delay stop. How do we cancel stop? Cancel stop. Cancel, my friends. This is not time to come into the pits just yet, folks. The time is not now. It's not wet enough. Live chat for the race. I saw that comment. You made that comment before, and I kind of like, should we? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's no harm in it. I mean, clearly I won't be in it. It'll be too off-putting for me. But you can all have a chin wag amongst yourselves if you wish. Although I should try it. Will it be off-putting? I don't know. Anyway, let's carry on. Sorry. So I was saying about Catalonia. So since 2007, they installed that right, left, right complex, the final sector, right? Whereas before that time, it was a sweeping right-hander. Sweeping right-hander, and then off you go. Well, they've decided people are still pitting. I think it's wrong to pit right now. This is not wet enough.
Okay, Lando, nice job.
Okay, now it's getting wetter. I think now's the time to pit. Okay.
And McLaren with a great
Unless
overtake.
I am misreading this, I personally don't think it's wet enough. Neither does Leclerc, which is a bad sign, because if Ferrari don't think it's wet enough with their strategy team, then we're in big trouble, because they always get it wrong. So if we're following the Ferrari's lead, we're in big trouble. Okay.
That's all he's boxed.
Everybody else is boxed, and they've probably put on inters, right? Nobody's put on full wets, so it's definitely inters weather. Is it time to pit? I don't know. I think it... What's the rain saying? What are the weather forecasters saying here? They're like, oh, it's not... No, I don't know. But anyway, I'll finish my story eventually, and the story is, yes, they have decided, the powers that be have decided that after 15 years, 16 years of this right, left, right complex in Barcelona, they've decided to go back to the original layout. Well, not the original layout, but the layout from whatever year, 94 onwards to 2007, with the sweeping right again. So no more right, left, right nonsense. I need to see the data here. I need to turn this down. I need to see the data. So people on inters are doing 28 fours, 28 sixes, 28 threes. We're doing 29 sixes and 30s. So inters are quicker. Inters are quicker according to the split. That's the way to find out, isn't it? Use your brains. So they are quicker according to the split. So we're going to now pit, I think, with both cars. So we're going to pit them now, bring them in. I think this might be bad news for Lando, you know. If we've left him out too long, he's the one that's going to suffer. Hamilton had a 6-second cushion, so he's fine. This could be... we are pushing with Lando. We've pushed on the deployment and stuff. He's got no battery left. We'll have to probably harvest at some point with him. Nonetheless, here we go. Hamilton in the pits. Here we go. Changing tyres. Off onto his inters. Norris coming in. Got a bit of time, of course. Again, it's getting drier again. Leclerc's finally coming in, so the Ferrari boys have finally decided to pit Leclerc. So where were we with Norris before we pitted? I think we were P12 or P11. We've waited too long, haven't we? Yeah. Ooh. Well, okay, we're kind of on a par, really, as to where we... Yeah, we're kind of not much worse off. Not much worse off. But considering that we've got a faster car, if we'd have timed it better, we should have been further ahead than here, I think. Right, standard balanced for now. We've got to determine how long these tyres have to last. Now these inters...
Just be careful with this tyre.
It's going to be difficult to see how long these inters will last because this is the wrong strategy here. I want to change this strategy. Can we not change this to not pushing to see how long these tyres will realistically last? Can't see it. I can't see it. Anyway, we have to make these tyres last, I think, as long as possible. So, Hamilton, look how Ricciardo's benefited from this variable weather. Look at this. Mercedes in P2. Clearly, he timed his pit stop to absolute perfection. Absolutely fantastic for the Mercedes here. Verstappen has leapfrogged his teammate considerably. He's up into P3. Bottas is in P4. Russell in P5. The Mercedes coming out really well from this. Sainz is in 6. Leclerc has gone down to P20. Because not only was he delaying his stop like we did, but he was on medium tyres as well. So he's suffered massively down in P16. The Ferrari, and he was up in I think P5 or P6 before the stop, so a calamity there. So yeah, ultimately it's shaken the order up a touch. Sainz is in P6, roughly where he was before he came in, so he hasn't lost out too much. Ocon 7th. Perez is quite a loser from that. He was in P2, gone down to P8. Alonso P9, and Vettel and Albon bringing up the 10th and 11th positions there. So Norris, no DRS, of course, in wet weather conditions, so he doesn't have the benefits of DRS. So overtaking is going to be slightly more tricky, so we're going to have to utilise potentially a bit of tyre pushing, maybe a bit of engine mode, to enable us to get past cars here. So let's give him a bit of pushing here for half a lap to see if we can get past Albon. This is going to be tricky. Norris's day is going to be made much more tricky without DRS, unfortunately, due to the wet weather. I was hoping that we were going to cruise past a few cars, get up to P6, P5 in a blink of an eye, but unfortunately it's not looking good. We might need some crashes and some safety cars. Our tyres are fresher. Yes, they are, but we will be using them, I suppose, to get past cars, which will offset that a little bit. My mum is fine. She's doing pretty good, actually. She's doing pretty good. She'd been shopping today. She went to the company shop. When I was in the police, I used to get a membership to the company shop, because you got membership to the company shop if you work for the NHS, if you work for the police, and a couple of other things as well, which you get significantly discounted goods. Some of them are quite short dates on them, but you get significantly discounted goods.
Okay, mate, nice.
So when I left the police, I lost that privilege, which was unfortunate. But my neighbour works for the NHS, so she went with my neighbour today, and
big lifts. Yeah,
and she got quite a lot of shopping for like 38 quid. So in this cost of living crisis, I said, Mother, get yourself to the company shop more often. Loads of packets of crisps, loads of stuff for the fridge.
Yeah, copy, Lewis.
I'm going on holiday on the 23rd of June. 2 weeks today. Sorry, 3 weeks today. 3 weeks today. 3 weeks today! I'll be off on my travels again. Oh, I can't wait. Right, so Norris now onto the back of Vettel. So, yeah, clearly we've got the speed. Push, push.
And you can push.
When we're in clear air, we have the speed. We just have to use it. Right, let's try off-board for a little while. Let's get a bit of off-board action here, as Norris is now going to try to make a move on Sebastian Vettel. This is a part of the track where things tend to happen. Taking a... I thought I was going to take a sort of tighter line through that corner, get a bit of a slingshot down the old pit straight. He's looking high, he's looking low. That Alpha Tauri is not letting him pass just yet, but we'll see what happens as we get round here into the sort of fast complex. Sweeping corners, long pit straight, all over the back of Vettel here. We have a little bit of ERS available if we want it, if we need it. Back on board here as we power down. Power, 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 power. Late braking. Boost of deployment on top. There we go. There we go. Make it stick.
This is really good.
There we go. We're past Sebastian Vettel, and with the pace of our car, we should start to make
McLaren
gains
with a great overtake.
onto the back of Alonso. But we're into the points now with Norris. Up into the points paying positions. And if you look at the gaps here, look at the gaps here. The gaps here are very small. So as soon as we cruise up to the back of Alonso, we're going to be right in the mix. You know, right in the mix to get ourselves hopefully up to sort of P5, and then even Bottas isn't that far ahead. So things are not looking too shabby so far. Did you want to get F1 done before you go? I want to get everything done before I go. F1 and Contraband Police. CK2 I won't finish, of course, but yeah. This and Contraband Police I want finished in 3 weeks. So I better get my skates on, ain't I? Better get a move on. Contraband Police will be almost finished anyway. I think this will be the game that is more difficult to finish. Although there's probably, what, about 10 races left? 3 weeks? That's three races a week, which isn't that difficult. Shouldn't be that difficult. Especially with these kind of impromptu streams. At times where I would normally private stream, I can just do a couple of these a week as well. What's going to replace it? I don't know yet. I'm keeping my options open. Keeping my options open. There was a game that I saw that had been released that I wanted to play, and I'm struggling to remember what it was. What was it? There was a game that I just saw recently that had come out, and I was like, oh, I want to play that. It's only a short game. What was it now? I was talking to a friend about it. I was like, oh, I might want to play that on the channel, actually. What was it? I cannot for the life of me remember. It's neither of those. It's neither of those. It's something completely that I've not even mentioned before, and it was just like, somebody mentioned the game to me, like, oh. It'll come to me. Maybe I did this, I don't think I did add it to my list of games. Oh, what was it now? Oh, this is frustrating. But yeah, both of those are on my list. It'll probably come to me at like 8 o'clock this evening. Random time. Oh, that was the game I was thinking of earlier. When was it released? Oh. Yeah, Cham, you're asking the questions that I clearly can't answer. I can't remember. I'm sure it was something that was released this year. Or maybe even very recently. What was it? What was it? Think, boy, think. God, I can't remember. Hamilton 9 seconds ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. I'm quite surprised that, well, I'm not surprised because it's difficult to pass in the wet apparently, that Verstappen hasn't got past Ricciardo yet, but here you go, Daniel Ricciardo in that Mercedes, you've got to say at this point, is slightly holding up Max Verstappen, although pulling away from Bottas, who we've got to say is holding up quite the train of cars, as Norris is soon to join that train of cars, which is good news for us. Can we get P2 here with Norris? That would be quite crazy, but I think it's doable. I think P2's on the cards here. I really do. What's my thoughts on the Pharaoh Total War? I don't have any thoughts. I've seen the trailer, and that's it. And that was it. I haven't watched anything else about it, don't know anything about it, don't even know what time period it's based in. I know roughly what time period, but I don't know what's... I don't know what's the premise of it. What is the premise, do you... What are you doing? Oh, for God's sake, man.
Here's the
He
replay.
spun last year at Silverstone, didn't he, if you remember? He spun in qualifying at Silverstone this year. Oh, he smashed his wing off!
The contact there.
Oh!
There's chaos on the track.
Chaos! Smashed his wing off!
The team are really
Oh my
disappointed
God,
with that.
Lando, what
Let's
you...
hope it doesn't set them back
Virtual
too
safety
badly.
car to clear the debris. Oh, he's got to go around the entire track again. He's missed the pit stop window. He's missed the pit lane as well. Oh. Oh. Open pit options. Fresh set of inters. Clearly has to replace his wing.
VSC, VSC.
I don't believe it. I've done the pits, man. He's putting fresh tyres on and fixing his flipping wing. Now confirm the changes, will you?
It's a collision.
I don't want to watch the damn replay. Oh, we've got a penalty as well. This is this is another thing in this game that needs fixing. There's a few things that need fixing in this game. So in addition to the cars can't overtake situation, in addition to the situation with there's something else I mentioned this session. My memory is crap at the minute. I mentioned something else that needed fixing in this game. But anyway, this is another one. Penalties. Because Lando spun. That's not something that's worth a penalty, is it? And then the car drove into us. We were sat stationary after spinning, and a car's driven into us and knocked our wing off. And we're getting a penalty for that. This happens all the time. The end of the Bronze Age. Okay. Well, it's a Total War, so I'll probably get it. Still trying to think what game was that I was going to play. That was kind of like left field, out of the blue. Can't remember. Three Kingdoms clearly is on the list. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. But anyway. We shall see what I play. We shall see what takes my fancy. Wasn't a racing game. Forza's coming out this year. Forza 7. I'll be playing some of that on the channel because I can play that on the PC. You see, so that's good. So I can play that. So that's coming out. Metal Gear Solid. Clearly, I'll be playing that. Metal Gear Solid 3, the remake. I'll be playing that on the channel whenever that's released. So that'll be fun. So that was one of my favourite Metal Gear Solids, I must admit. And with the updated graphics and stuff, you know, all the foliage and all that kind of stuff will look absolutely glorious, you know. There were some pretty cool boss battles in that game. I found I like that one. Some people are not over keen on Snake Eater compared to some others, but I thought, for me personally, it was one of my favourites. I like Metal Gear Solid 4 very much. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3. Yeah, I really like that game. Because it was all about, because we'd heard about Big Boss in the first couple of games, and it was like, oh, who's this mysterious Big Boss character, and here we are playing as this man, you know. And seeing Revolver Ocelot as a young whippersnapper was quite cool. So, and I think that might be my very first kind of experience of playing a prequel as well. So it was kind of interesting. And I just really like games that are based outdoors. I mentioned this before in my RPGs. RPGs that are a lot more dungeon crawly. I don't tend to like them as much as RPGs that have a lot more outdoor elements to them. So like Baldur's Gate 1 compared to Baldur's Gate 2 had a lot more outdoors areas, so I quite That's why I prefer Baldur's Gate 1, although Baldur's Gate 2, when I played the Enhanced Edition, did grow on me. I've always liked it, but I enjoyed BG2 with Godan more than I played it off camera with my own personal character. But yeah, that's why like games like Pathfinder Kingmaker, you know, a lot of it is outdoors. There's some dungeons as well, but you know, lots of outdoor exploration. Skyrim, anything with a lot of outdoors in it, I seem to like them. I like views, I like vista, I like scenery. It shouldn't be a surprise, I suppose. I'm always commenting on how good the scenery is and stuff. So that's yeah, games based outside clearly sit well with me. So Snake Eater, very much an outdoorsy kind of in the bush, you know, eating animals to survive kind of situation. And there was a couple of parts of that game that to this day stick in my memory. One of them was climbing that ladder that seemed to go on forever, whilst the Snake Eater theme started to blare out. It was quite catchy, quite a poignant moment I found in that game. Another memorable moment of that game was the boss fight with the End, who was the sniper, if you remember. You've played the game, of course. So that was quite memorable. I really enjoyed that. I remember playing that battle at a friend's house. And there is a little sneaky way that you can avoid that boss battle by killing the End before he gets to his location. There's a point where you can actually kill him in advance to save yourself that boss battle, because that boss battle can be very painful. It's very slow and very steady, is that boss battle. You'll see when you watch it on the channel. It's quite a tactical affair. I really enjoyed it. So that was quite memorable. And then the End, which I won't spoil because you've not seen it and you want to watch it, was very memorable for me too. The end of the game, really enjoyed that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 are not getting full remakes like this, but they are getting a release of some description in a kind of a collection edition, I believe. So it won't. They may have some enhancements to them, I think, but it's not like a full-blown remake like this is. Although this is badged as a remake, it's going to use the original voice actors and stuff, and so. But I'm sure there'll be some elements, that's new. We'll see. But if they, I might just have to do a full run through the entire trilogy, the entire trilogy, because I don't think the fourth game has been touted as having any sort of release at the moment. But the fourth game is quite pivotal, considering it was the end of the series in terms of Solid Snake's affairs, anyway. But anyway, there we go. So yes, Three Kingdoms, Rome, DEI, and Medieval 1212. Yes, Total Wars are racking up quite significantly. But that's not a bad thing, is it? Because Total Wars, or those Total Wars at least, are pretty decent. So, right, I think we are in such a position now with this race that we can actually probably fast forward a little bit. And when I say fast forward, I mean I clearly mean 2 speed, not fast forward like 16 speed or something ludicrous. Yes, they're getting added to. They're getting added to. Yes, they are. And I'm not sad about that, because it's been a while since I played them. And you all know how much I like Metal Gear Solid, because when I played Metal Gear Solid 5 on the channel, even though that there was a lot of controversy with that game, I personally loved it to bits. Absolutely loved it. In fact, yeah, I really did. I mean, it helped that I was off work at the time, taking my year out when I'd left the police. So, it was a fun time in general to be alive. But, yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 5. I really did. So, yes, if I could play Metal Gear Solid 1 to 4, all kind of remade, brushed up, looking pretty, I'd do it. I'd certainly do it. And I could give you some memories of when I played, because when I played these games, some of you won't have even been alive. Some of you younger, I think most of you will have been alive at some point. Metal Gear Solid The first game was what, 1997, 1996? What Metal Gear Solid, the first one? Maybe some of you weren't alive. I don't know. How old would you have? How old would you be if you were born in 97 or 96? 10, 20, 27. So if you're younger than 27, you wouldn't have been alive when the first game came out. Oh boy. I'm sure people are younger than 27. Some people that watch, maybe. I have an ageing viewership, of course, but I'm sure some of you will have been there. Will have been not live. Okay, we're not going to do anything with Lando. We ain't getting points now with him, so he can suffer the consequences. I mean, clearly it's going to dry soon, so the only... Oh, it might get even wetter. I kind of feel bad, because if we strategically manage his race, we might be able to... No, we can't, because he's got a 7-second gap. He's got an 8-second gap. He might pass naturally, because these cars are really slow, so we'll see how he fares. We have a bit of ability to push here. Not much, but a little bit. He seems to be going round here, but not passing at the moment.
McLaren gain a position.
Vettel... Well, how does... Oh, Vettel must have been the car that hit us then, because Vettel is back there, but wasn't back there initially, so... that's interesting. Let's give him a bit of push, a bit of aggressive, because the rain is ending quite soon. So we'll give him push and aggressive, burn the fuel off, tyres are fine, see see where he goes. I might slow it down whilst we're making our way through the field a little bit. I was born 97. So I can't remember if it came out 97 or 96. Because PlayStation, I got my PlayStation Christmas 95. I think it was probably 97, to be fair. Maybe early 97. But yeah, basically, if I do play them, I can give you kind of gaming history snippets and, you know, bits that I remember about the game and what I was doing on certain points. You know, the first Metal Gear Solid I think I played it about 5 times. Because I was younger then, and I used to replay games religiously, because that's what we did back then. You know, we didn't have this vast array of Steam libraries to turn to if you want to play a new game. Not a problem. There's a sale on. Buy a game for £4. Rack up your library. I've got probably about 200, well, not about 150 games in the damn thing. Back in them days, you got a game, you know, not working and being a teenager or a child or whatever, relying on your parents to buy a game for you. You got a game for birthday, you got a game for Christmas, the occasional game if you were good. So basically, you had to play the game and then play it again and then play it again, because there was nothing else to play after that. So you know, back in them days, I used to replay games quite often. And Metal Gear Solid, I think, was a game that I played about 4 or 5 times through at various points. With various people, because back in those days too, I used to play games with my friends. So I'd play a little bit and then hand the controller over, he'd play a little bit and then hand it over to his cousin and he'd play a little bit, or his cousin would just watch us and he used to enjoy watching us play the game. So it was a community affair, you see. Whereas nowadays, none of that happens because it's all online. We're all antisocial. I'll see you online. Not in the flesh. You smell. Nobody sits down and plays... Who plays split screen anymore? Eh? Who plays split screen? Eh? This is turning into an old man kind of rant, isn't it? When you have to sit down, 2 control pads, play your split screen. Oh, back in my day, I tell you. But anyway, so yes, it will be fun to play those kind of games, Metal Gear Solid. I was never a fan of Metal Gear Solid 2. That was the worst of the series. Mainly because you wasn't playing as Snake, you were playing as Raiden? You were playing as somebody that nobody cared about. Yeah. You played as Snake at the first part on the ship. And then after that you played as this random character that nobody gave a crap about. So yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 wasn't the biggest of fans of that, but yeah. If I was to rank my Metal Gear Solids in order of favouritism, it would probably be... It's quite a tight one, this one. quite a close one. I don't know why I don't know why I broached the subject, because clearly I'm struggling to make a decision. Metal Gear Solid 3, probably favourite, followed by Metal Gear Solid 4, just for the pure emotion of it all. Because I tell you, there's a couple of bits in that game that took my breath away, you know. Especially when you played Metal Gear Solid 4, if you were old enough to have played the first game, there was a couple of bits when you went back to Shadow Moses and sound bites played from the original first game. And it was like, oh my god, this is bringing back some memories of me being, 10 years younger or whenever it was, when the fourth game came out. Sitting down and playing this game for the first time as a 13, 14-year-old. Yeah. And then the end, of course, was quite sad. But anyway. Gears of War 5. I played the first Gears of War, and that was about it. I was never a big fan of that game. Not my cup of tea, really, but... so yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3, followed by 4, then followed by 5, then 1, and then 2. I think that's probably the order of my favouritism of those games. Right, Lando has taken over Vesti now and is pushing to get onto terms with Mick Schumacher.
McLaren gain a position.
Lewis is a pit stop ahead. Lewis is in cruise control mode here. I mean, the mere fact that Norris has got to make up places is giving us a little bit of excitement, but clearly he's a bit too far behind now to be going on 1 speed. So we'll blast round with Norris until he catches Mick Schumacher, which shouldn't take that long, because he's pushing. We'll turn that down so that we've got enough juice to push with when we get up to Mick Schumacher. You just have to keep a check on this situation. It's going to get dry around about that 41, which means if we play this smart with Lando Norris, everybody's going to have to come in for a second set of inters and have a pit stop here. If we go standard with Norris with the extra life of his tyres because he's pit again, he won't have to pit again. So when everybody in front of him pits for a second set, he's going to leapfrog them. I'm seeing something here. I'm seeing something here. We've got a chance. Probably to round about there. I mean, 16 seconds, probably about 20 seconds for a pit stop. So yeah, I reckon with Lando we can get away with not pitting again. So Alonso's pitting for a second set of inters now, so these cars will start to pit for another set of inters, or maybe he's going to pit for full wets. I don't think pitting for full wets is a good idea personally. We'll see. What's Alonso doing? No, he's pitting for fresh inters. Yep, fresh inters. There we go. So I think, yeah, Norris. I think we extend. I think we basically. I think even going to light to stretch this out a little bit, I think is actually not a bad idea. We need to go to around about lap 40, which according to where's the strategy view? Lap 40 would take. I think Lewis can probably make it to lap 40 if he conserves. Lando with conservation will get to lap 40. I think he will. I don't think we need to with Lewis. Lewis is a pit stop ahead. He can afford to come in again and get a fresh set of boots on. That's fine. Lando we're going to stretch Lando out. Stretch him out to get to the dry period without pitting again. That's going to be his best chance of making up positions here. So this is going to be an interesting period of this race, actually. FPS spree. until your game pass is finished. Ah, good old game pass.
No more rain forecast. Dry line is forming.
Yep.
Really? It's going to start to rain heavier before it gets drier, actually. Bono, if you don't mind, giving false information there. Okay, so Norris is gaining on Mick Schumacher. So whilst everybody now is going to pit for a second set of inters, Lando is going to stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out, and hopefully avoid having to make another pit stop. We've got an incident in Sector 3. It was Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher has spun us.
Yellow flags.
Oh, it was Sonoda. Sonoda has spun and he's backed up the pack here. Now we have to get... Ideally we could do with getting past. So we are conserving, but I think we can do with getting past here. So
If you can, push.
we need to balance this out, basically. We need to balance conserving with actually getting past these cars.
Got yellow, yellow.
Now Gasly's had a bit of a spin.
Understood.
Gasly's done a bit of a turn. There we go. Let's give him some deployment. That'll get him past without using the tyres. Let's give him some deployment. We're past Mick Schumacher. There we go. So Lando up to P15.
Nice job.
He's got P14 in his sights. He's got Sonoda in his sights.
McLaren with a great overtake.
So Norris is on the charge again. If Norris gets into some decent points after starting in 15th, then spinning, having his wing knocked off, would be quite the achievement. Right, we're on to the back of now the Haas of Magnussen. What we'll do is we'll give him deployment after we've gone round this corner here. This is where we tend to get a bit of opportunity to pass. If we deploy him, he might get some opportunity to pass on the pit straight. We're just going to give him a brief bit of pushing here. Round this corner. Get a nice exit. Bit of deployment. Get a better slingshot out of this corner. Here we go, folks. Here we go. Up the inside, up the inside, up the inside. Here we go. Push, 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 push. Back down to neutral. Are we past? Just about. There we go. There we go. Right back on board. Might as well
Nice
do
job,
a bit
mate.
more
Nice
deployment,
job.
bit more aggression down this straight here. This is another Williams. This should be a done deal. Power, power, power. Power, power, power. Power, 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 power. Late break, late break, late break. Up the inside, up the inside, up the inside. Come on, don't let him cut you off. Come on now, Nando. Come on, a bit more aggression required here. You're scything your way through the field. That didn't look like scything to me. Go, 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 go. Go. Pulling out, pulling out, pulling out. Go, go, go. Up the inside now. The scene of... Was that the scene? Yeah, that was the scene of the incident between Hamilton and Verstappen. I think it was that corner. Right, standard, no, light and balanced. There we go again. Let's turn that down, and we are up to P13, 9 seconds behind Gasly.
Gain a position.
But as we said, we are stretching out these inters to last until the dry weather comes. Let's have a look. In fact, maybe, just maybe, the other cars aren't going to have to pit again. Maybe I'm wrong. What is their life like? 39%, 41, 40, 39 Gasly. Got a couple of people that have pitted for fresh tyres.
No rain forecast.
Understood.
But look at that. That's come back. That has moved backwards, hasn't it?
No rain.
It's now
So centre's
coming
all clear.
round about lap 37. So it's the dry track has pulled back a bit, which is bad for Lando. Good for the rest of the pack. I think we go back to standard then. It's going to get dry sooner than first thought. Which is not great for Lando, because we were hoping that the other cars were going to have to pit again, but it looks like they might not have to at this point. As Lewis Hamilton continues to lap over a second a lap quicker than Ricciardo here. 27 seconds is the gap. Daniel is clearly slowing Verstappen down. I think we would still be winning this race. We were definitely quicker than Verstappen anyway, but he's holding Verstappen up. Clearly, the Mercedes is the fourth fastest car on the grid, so not going to be a patch on our McLaren right now. So yeah, Hamilton just in nice little Sunday drive mode. I can turn my tyres down, make them last until we get to the dry track. Lando's got a handful of laps to get there. I think we actually go aggressive. I think we go aggressive with him now. I think we do. See if we can make up some time here for these pit stops. We might make up a bit more time if we time this pit stop right. I think the best position that Lando's going to get today is probably about 9th. I think getting any higher than 9th is going to be a very tight call, but I think 9th is on the cards. A couple of points is better than nothing, I suppose. It's not going to do well for his championship hopes. Hello, Regisa. Yeah, early stream today. I don't usually stream or record any videos on a Friday because I tend to go to my friend's house pretty much straight after work on a Friday nowadays. But she's out for a bottomless brunch, so I'm not going until later this evening. So I've got a window of opportunity. So I thought I'd grab it with both hands, do a bit of streaming, and go and have a shower, maybe have a snack, and then get myself over there for about 7:30. So yeah. So a little bit of a treat today. I can't do anything tomorrow because I'm off to Birmingham, of course. So tomorrow's out the window. CK2 stream will be on Sunday this week. I want to dive back into some CK2. Really enjoyed the session earlier this week, so I want to dive back into that again and see what mayhem we can cause with our little, scheming character. Right, 5.2 seconds. We are closing the gap. The idea of a bottomless brunch kind of does make me. But with bottomless brunches, I think they're a bit of a con, really, because the alcohol is bottomless, but the food, generally speaking, isn't. Which is a strange way to do it, really, because the alcohol is clearly more expensive than the food. Surely. You get more margin at your alcohol in a restaurant, don't you? But the bottomless brunches that I've seen tend to be, 3 courses or whatever, and you get a bottomless prosecco or beer. It's usually the cheaper stuff that you get unlimited use of. You've got to do it in 90. You get 90 minutes to do it. You've got 90 minutes. Drink as much as you can and eat. The true perfect situation was there used to be a place. I don't know if it's still in existence. It's called Buca di Pizza. And what they used to do is unlimited drinks and unlimited pizza in 90 minutes. And I'm sure some of these bottomless brunches do have unlimited food as well as unlimited alcohol. But yeah, bottomless brunches is basically unlimited alcohol and or unlimited food as well. If not unlimited, then set meal or set courses, set food. But yeah, it always contains unlimited alcohol from what I've seen. But yeah, a Buca di Pizza was the ideal one because you got unlimited pizza and unlimited alcohol. So that is like, yeah, you've got 90 minutes. It's like, are you sure? I can eat a lot of pizza in 90 minutes and drink a lot of Prosecco in 90 minutes because I don't drink beer, you see. So these bottomless brunches don't tend to be that great for me because it doesn't include bottomless rum, does it? No. It includes bottomless Prosecco or bottomless beer, maybe bottomless wine occasionally. So I have to drink Prosecco because out of all of those options, Prosecco tends to be the one that I can stomach the most. But, drinking copious amounts of Prosecco, no, it's too fizzy, too gassy. So I don't tend to get my money's worth out of bottomless brunches. Hence why when she said, "Oh, but you've been invited as well if you want to come, as my +1," I was like, "Nah, you're all right. I'll just rather sit and stream, thanks." Not that I'm being antisocial, but because it's a lovely day outside, to put a nice shirt on, put some jeans on, get dolled up and get myself into town, may well end up, after having a bottomless brunch and having a couple of Prosecco's or whatever and a bit of food, I might think to myself and say to me, mate, you know what, we're in town, why don't we go clubbing? How about that for a box of apples or whatever? So that's the honest truth. That's the reason why I'm not going, really. Because I don't want to cave into temptation. And not only that, but I'm up at 6 in the morning to go to Birmingham. So I really don't want to be nursing a hangover, do I? No. So I'm being sensible. You turn 40, folks, and you suddenly become sensible. Because, had I have been 39 and asked to go to bottomless brunch,
Looks like a dry line is forming.
I'd have been snapping up the offer. But I'm like, no, I'm a responsible adult now. I'm up at 6. I shall not partake, actually. No, thank you. Right, it's getting dry, which means it's time to pits. Right now, with both of our cars. The question is, what tyre do we put on? Now, how do I see what tyre's best? I want to see the tyre life situation. So if I put on, say, a set of used tyres, they will last 25 laps. With Hamilton, it's not a question. Mediums go on, it's easy, he's well ahead, we don't have to try anything frisky. But with Lando, would it be beneficial to stick on a set of fresh softs? Can they make it to the end? How do I see that? Where's the strategy thing? Where's the strategy thing where we can see strategy view? Change strategy. Change strategy. Add new strategy. I'm going to come on. What are we on now? Lap 35? Just put a set of soft tyres on. New stint. Lap 38. No, lap 35, mate. No, lap 35, mate. There we go. 35. Set of softs. Yeah, set of softs can make it to the end. Yeah, easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Yeah. Right, good. Oh, pit options. Strap a set of softs on, will you? Perfect. Why is it saying... Why is it not saying anything?
DRS is enabled.
Oh, we've got DRS now as well. Oh, it's all kicking off. Right, Hamilton is in the pits. The leader is in the pits. The track is drying. This is clearly the best time to pit. So as the track is getting dry, he's just coming round. Lando, unfortunately, is going to be is in the worst position, really, because he is basically further round the track. So
confirm.
There we go. Hamilton coming out of the pits. Has anybody else pitted here? Actually, mind you, we're that far ahead. They haven't caught up yet. Nobody else is pitting for dries. It's because they're miles behind you. Hang on, Ricciardo didn't pit though. Oh, they've already pit. Yes, they have. They've already been in and out. They've put a set of softs on. Hamilton's put a set of mediums on just to play conservative, just simply because he's got the ability to be able to do this, given he's so far ahead.
Yep.
Such is the benefit of being so far ahead. You have this option, don't you, to be able to be much more conservative and safe with these strategy calls. That's where Mercedes' downfall occurred in 2021 at times, I feel, because they were that used to being so far ahead in the past that when it was time for strategy to make a big difference to things, they made a couple of faux pas. I do feel. So we do have the benefit of a brand new set of softs, whereas these guys are putting on used softs, as you can see. Right, we're coming out. We've got the advantage of DRS as well. We come out in P12. And now, folks, the race is well and truly on for us to try to get some points here. As we push with Lando Norris. I mean, we can't push too much because these have to make it to the end. I mean, the strategy says that they will make it to the end.
Just be careful with this tyre.
Clearly not when you're pushing.
Yeah, fine.
Massively hard, but why are they pitting again? I thought they were already on soft tyres. They are on soft tyres. Why are they pitting again? Am I missing a trick here? Am I missing a trick? Why are they doing this? Okay. Something's gone wrong there, I feel. Something's not right. I mean, they're still in second and third, which is really bizarre. Where's Russell? Or maybe... I mean, maybe the AI has thought to themselves, we're that far ahead, well, just pit again. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. I think there's been a glitch there somewhere. Norris is the fastest man on the track at the moment, as he tries to get some points. He's got to catch up to Leclerc, past Leclerc. Then he's got Albon, Alonso, Sainz, all pretty close together. So the 2023 version of this game is coming out soon. Really? How soon? Maybe I should just go straight into that. Finish this and then go straight into that and see what they've changed. Well, there's a fair few things that they need to tweak, so hopefully they're looking at that. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that. I mean, quite interesting. I'll probably wait for a little while before playing it again, clearly. Hamilton has locked up. Oh, Hamilton's gone off!
Now just take a look at the McLaren.
I mean, hopefully he's got enough of a gap to be able to get back on safely and still be fine. Bit of a lapse in concentration. Get yourself back into standard, pal. What were you doing? Pushing?
Take a look now.
Goodness
now
me!
Watch this. Lewis Hamilton involved in this one.
Clearly, just got a bit bored. You know, he's been out in front for so long. Dropped his eye off the ball a little bit there. But he's still 38 seconds ahead. This is ludicrous, really. So Ricardo, Verstappen, Russell, Perez. And then Ocon, Bottas, Sainz, Alonso and Albon is your top 10. Norris is catching up to Leclerc here. But Verstappen should be able to pass Russell, Ricardo now, because we've got DRS open and he's now in DRS range, so this should be now sitting duck territory. Let's ride on board with him. He's just teasing them. This one came out August 30th, so probably about the same time. Oh really? That's time flies by when you're having fun, eh? Yeah, this should be a done deal now. This should be a done deal with the DRS assistance. Probably down this long straight, which you can't see because my face is covering it, but hey, as I'm pointing to the mini-map. Maybe not. Maybe he's still a bit too far away. Although he is gaining pretty quickly. Oh, there you go. Easy as you like. See? Not quite past yet. Getting there though. And now it's passed. So you've just got another 35 seconds to make up in 14 laps. Do you think you can do that, Verstappen? I didn't think so. Okay, good. Right, so Lando is gaining on... Oh, it's an Albon, so Leclerc has passed Albon now, as Norris is looking and setting his sights on pretty much the same. Just going to go into standard mode here and balanced for a little bit, simply because we need to utilise our modes when we get to overtaking, so we've dropped the ball a little bit here. But with DRS we should be fine to get past. There's no massive DRS train going on at the moment, so we just pick them off one at a time. Should be straightforward.
Tires are getting hot.
Okay, copy.
Oh. Okay. 1.5 seconds is the gap to Albon. Albon is just about clinging to the back of Leclerc here, which is irksome because he'll get DRS, you see, which makes it a little bit more difficult for us to pass. And he seems to be sticking with Leclerc, who's not setting the world alight in his Ferrari. Once again, the Ferrari's really not having a good race. This is really bizarre because, you know, according to the stats, they have the second best car overall. Yet race after race, we see them struggling. I can't work it out. So who do you want as the Leeds new manager? Rodgers is a big shout. Do we reckon Rodgers will come to Leeds in the Championship? I'd take Rodgers in the Championship very happily. I'd take him very happily. I don't think he'd go, personally. I could be wrong. I mean, Leeds is we've got parachute payments. It's, you know, with a decent manager, we've got a good chance of getting straight back up. You know, so you know, even for a manager such as him, who's managed some big clubs, you know, it's probably still a decent job. It's not as if it's like, I don't know, like who's a little small team in the Championship. If you look at the Championship actually at the moment and look at the teams that are in it, the likes of Leicester, Premier League winners, 2016. You know, you've got Leeds. It's still a decent-sized club, aren't they? I mean, they've not done anything for a long time, but still, nonetheless, you know, it's still a decent-sized club. You've got the likes of Middlesbrough. You know, Sheffield Wednesday have come back up. They've always, you know, a pretty decent club. Huddersfield are a decent club nowadays. They were in the Premiership not so long ago. I think you've got... It's tough. It's tough. It's going to be tough to get out of that league, I'm telling you now. Southampton, they're going to obviously have parachute money. Stoke, ex-Premiership team not that long ago. You know, it's going to be the usual Championship kind of slog. 46 games, games on a Tuesday night, 2 games a week, long season. Yep. But I did say, didn't I? What did I say many a time? Oh, the Premiership and its money. I'm not the biggest fan, to be fair. Greed and all the rest of it, you know. Championship, competitive. I got my wish, didn't I? Got my wish. Right. Anyway, we shall see. We shall see. Oh, why are we talking about football? I thought I said we can't talk football anyway. Mama, do I have Cardinals committed a sin here? Right, so Albon doesn't have DRS, we have DRS, we have an incident in Sector 1, we're past Sector 1 thankfully, so it's nothing to do with us. He won't get DRS, oh he will still get DRS, he's now 8 tenths.
Got a yellow flag.
Yellow flag. Ricardo has spun, oh dear. Ricardo has spun. Oh, that's not good.
Okay, Lando,
Oh.
nice job.
We blink and you miss it. We just scythed past Albon. Whilst I was checking on who spun. Let's take a look at how he's got past here.
We're looking at Lando Norris.
Calm as you like. There you go. On the power. Use the pace of our car. What pace?
And there they go.
We still suck at straight line speed. Even though our current upgrades are focusing on straight line speed, we're still 15th and 17th. Which actually is better than 18th and 19th or whatever we were previously. So we are making slight movements forward with the straight line speed. And we've gone up to 60% on the brake cooling as well. Like a 5% jump alone with the last upgrade. So we're not doing too bad, to be fair. Quite a nice rounded car. We're getting there slowly to having a dominant machine. I mean, we've already got a dominant machine, really, if you look at this race. Slightly skewed, I think, because of the weather, because of the extra pit stops, because of the fact that Verstappen was held up for so long. It would not be 36 seconds. Was it, if it was a straight, dry race? I think it'd be probably more akin to about 18, if I'm being honest. But nonetheless, even 18 seconds in F1 is a country mile to be winning the race by. As we now on the back of Charles Leclerc, who does not have DRS in the cars ahead. We have DRS, so we are powering down this straight. We are powering down this straight, and we are saying goodbye to Mr. Leclerc as Lando Norris has gone into the
This is really
points. Having spun, had his wing knocked off, starting 15th. It's been a weekend not to remember here.
McLaren gain
But
a position.
nonetheless, we have still got a point, and we still got fastest lap if we want to take the fastest lap point. Another incident in Sector 1. Who is it? Who is it? There's 3 cars here.
Got yellow,
It's
yellow.
Gasly again.
Understood.
So we've got 3 cars here. That is 7th position up for grabs. We've got 10 laps to go. Can we get it done? I think these will be up next season. I'm not so confident. I am not so confident. Our team is going to be ripped to shreds. I mean, Leicester have got a problem too, to be fair. They've got a massive wage bill. But they've got some really good players that they're going to get some real good money for. So that should help. Whereas, I mean, Leeds, have they got any Madisons in their team that they can sell for 40, 50 million? Not really. You know. So, and it's a rebuild job. It's a very important pre-season. We have to cut the dead wood, and we have to be very shrewd in the market, and ultimately we have to get the right manager and support the manager. Our signings over the past 2 seasons have been, I won't say atrocious, it's probably a bit extreme, but they haven't been the best. There's been clear gaps in the squad and holes in positions that haven't been filled. We've known we've needed a backup striker for a long time, and we haven't really. Rodrigo's been okay, I suppose, but it's just been. I don't think the transfer markets have been that grand. Manager fluctuations and changes, which is the usual thing. We've become the usual club, which is, you know, managers do very well, sack, get a new manager in, change systems, change formations, you know, suddenly that manager starts to do badly, let's sack him as well. Right, Alonso. Anyway, no more football talk now. No more football talk, okay? I shall remember your optimism. My stomach is starting to rumble because I'm slightly hungry. But I'm on my healthy eating, you see. I'm on a calorie controlled diet. And I'm not exercising today because I injured my ankle at football yesterday. So I'm giving it a rest today, which means I have less calories to burn, to play with, because I'm not burning off for my usual 400 for exercising. So I've got to be a bit more shrewd and be having a drink later. But I do think I will treat myself to a currant tea cake and a cup of tea. Yes, I will. I've decided. Screw it. Live life on the edge. Right, so we're going to struggle to get past whilst we have this little train going on, but we're not pushing just yet. I think we can afford... Oh, a spin! A spin there! Goodness grief! Right before our very eyes. Bottas, off he goes, spinning, careering off the track.
Yep.
That makes life a little bit easier, perhaps. 1 down, 2 to go. It's been a race of incident, hasn't it? Leeds and Leicester want to get rid of 10 players each. Should be top 6 maximum. You mean top 6 minimum? Yeah, that sounds about right. I'd agree with that. 10 players each. Yeah, if we didn't get into at least the playoffs, I would class it as a catastrophic season. Of course, your parachute payments taper off after 3 years, right? They taper off. Norwich have been in that league for a little while, so they're a bit, they've got embedded a little bit, so they've got a good chance. Yeah, you just look at the clubs in the Championship now. It's tough. It's a tough league. I think I was just speaking to somebody earlier today about it. It was also a Leeds fan. He said something like 20 out of the 24 teams that are in the Championship at the moment have all been in the Premiership at some point. So, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, Bristol City, God, yeah, the list goes on. They've always been a strong Championship side. They always are usually top 6, top 10, they've always been there or thereabouts. So yeah, 3 years of parachute payments which taper off. So after that 3-year period, you then become a Championship side, rather than a Premiership side in the Championship, which you could kind of class yourself as at least for the first couple of seasons. Because you're going to have far more money at your disposal than some of the other teams. But as has been proven in the past, that isn't always guaranteed success. Clearly.
Yellow flags where you are.
Confirm.
So we've got 6 laps to go. Moneyball. Good old Moneyball system. Yeah. Came from baseball, Moneyball, didn't it? I know quite a bit. I know a little bit about Moneyball because I watch a Football Manager streamer that talks about Moneyball and does Moneyball saves. It's a very interesting system which does work, clearly. But I think it came from baseball. Wasn't there a movie about it? Was it a baseball movie? It was a movie. Brad Pitt was in it, right? I don't think the movie was called Moneyball, but I think it was based on the principle. The Oakland Athletics, 2002. Yeah, so a very stats and data driven approach to finding talent that's basically below market. I'll say below market value, but basically cheap players or reasonably priced players based on statistical modelling.
Okay, mate, nice work.
I mean, the thing is, you would argue, why aren't more people doing it? Because clearly it works, and a lot of these big clubs have a lot of money, so
And McLaren with a great overtake.
why aren't they doing it? They probably are, just not doing it very well. What I think people should do is a Football Manager approach. If the player's good on Football Manager, then get him scouted. Because I'm telling you, man, I have seen players on Football Manager who were really good once in the season of the game that became good in real life, like afterwards. They weren't that known at the time, but then after, a couple of seasons after or season after, I'd found them in the game.
McLaren gain a
They suddenly
position.
became this next big thing. Actually, I think it's not untrue to say, because I've read it somewhere, that actually the scouting team for Football Manager is actually larger than pretty much most football clubs. Yeah, of course, it would make sense that they would use data, but it is how well you use that data that is the key. So, as we've been talking football, Moneyball, and whatever else, clearly I should probably do a Football Manager stream at some point. We have moved up to P7 with Lando Norris. Yeah, so take Sandro Tonali, right? I had Sandro Tonali 2 Football Managers ago. And I'm sure he wasn't that big in real life 2 seasons ago. But in the game, he was insanely good. And then now, is real life Sandro Tonali is really, really big talent. I think he's called Sandro Tonali. Anyway, I found him in Football Manager 2 years ago. But so yeah, as much as it might sound like a bit of a joke, I'm serious, people. I think I think football clubs do actually. I've used Football Manager, you know.
4 laps
Again, I've read it somewhere that it's not a crazy thing to do because the scouting team at Football Manager is actually pretty good and pretty large. So, you know, the player database is going to actually not be insanely inaccurate. Trying to wrap my brains about any talents that I spotted in my last Football Manager save from this version that I've just played, so that I can write to Leeds United to say just look out for these 2 players. Trust me, I'm your Moneyball man. All right.
And that's
Where did you get this information from? From Football Manager.
Verstappen
Oh, people are
in
pitting again. Why is Verstappen? This must be like his 4th stop. What is he doing? How many stops? Where's the stops? Pits. This must be his 4th pit stop. We're up to 5th with Norris because of this silliness. Look at that. Obviously his 3rd stop. Okay, still, this is not a 3-stop race. So that's kind of interesting then, because when he pitted with Ricciardo, right, he's pitted once to put the wets on and once to put the dries on. It looked to me like they had pitted a second time for a fresh set of softs.
3 laps
But
remaining.
that can't be right then, because if that was the case, this would be his 4th stop, and Ricciardo would have stopped 3 times, right? Once to put the wet inters on and once to take them off. But when Ricciardo came on, the graphic was showing he had softs on, which cannot be correct. So I think either there was a glitch on the tyres, something was going on, because if Ricciardo and Verstappen both pitted for a fresh set of softs, as it looked like, then they would have 1 stop more here. So I don't know what's happened there. But anyway, I don't care. Oh, Ricciardo's pitting again. What the flipping hell? If they didn't have soft tyres that were capable of lasting the entire stint of the dry race, they should have put mediums on. This makes no sense. This is silly. This has probably been the most stupid race for strategies I've seen in this game. And to be fair, it doesn't warrant it, because the wet weather wasn't that variable. It went wet, it went dry. It should really be simple. Great for Norris, but it just feels really crap. It is what it is. But this should not have been a race where the AI gets confused. It's not as if it's gone. It's not as if a race where it's been wet, it's gone dry.
2 more laps.
It's wet again, it's dry. I can understand it when that happens, but when it's just been race starts dry, goes wet for a few laps, and then goes back to dry again, that is not difficult. You put your inters on or your wets on when it's starting to get wet, and you take them off when it goes dry. It's simple. It's the most simple of wet to dry strategies you can probably ever get. So why have we got this sudden commotion of people putting random tyres on, pitting 3 times? I don't know.
That sounds like someone's gone wide there.
But anyway, as we approach the final laps of this race, Lewis Hamilton is 53 seconds ahead. Now let's not take a look at this gap, because it clearly is not indicative of the performance of the car. We are not that quick. It is indicative of the AI's incompetence, basically. That somebody that started at the back, or the 15th on the grid, spun, had a wing knocked off, suffered, don't forget, a 5-second time penalty as well, so they couldn't work on the car to fix the wing for 5 seconds, comes out and still gets 4th. Something is amiss there. But nonetheless, we'll take it. And if we even push harder, we might be able to get 3rd.
We just got 1 lap remaining.
Can we catch Russell? Can we catch Russell? I'm going to try. Give me everything.
Okay, Lando, 100% pace, 100% pace.
Give me everything.
Yeah, confirm.
Give me all the beans. I'm off after Russell. Should have done this a lap sooner, possibly. I didn't think we were going to get him, to be fair, but 2.8 seconds. His tyres are much more worn than ours. This is not going to happen, but we'll try it for fun. We've actually got a lap and a half to do this because we haven't been lapped. So actually, this isn't beyond the realms of possibility. 2.7 seconds. Ooh, 2.6 seconds. 2.5 seconds. 2.2 seconds. This is not beyond the realms of possibility here. This is not beyond. 35, 34. Turn it down to aggressive. Come on, Lando. Let's get a podium here. We can do it.
Yeah,
We do. Hey, 1.6. Look at this. A bit of last lap drama. Come on. Go, go, go. Gotta be careful with the petrol. Petrol, with the fuel.
Big lift.
1.6, 1.5. Come on.
we have checkered flag now.
Come on. Well, come on, push. Might as well go full push.
Fantastic race pace.
Might as well do it. They're going side by side as they're battling for second and third position here. I mean, wouldn't it be great if they knock each other off here? Come on. I can't believe Russell is actually harassing Red Bull at this point, but pushing like crazy with Lando. He's trying his best. He sniffs a podium. But can he get it? It's looking unlikely. 1.3. We're getting no DRS at this point. Conserve the fuel. The fuel's gone red. We might run out of fuel on the line now that we've pushed it too hard. Nope, we're back to normal. We're back to green. Back to balanced. Oh, so we're not going to do it, but he's given it a good shot. That would have been crazy. If we'd have managed to get a... We could have got second. They're second place right there.
That is the checkered flag.
Literally.
Boxes lap.
Second place was right there.
Yeah, good job, everyone.
Good job, mate.
Lord.
Very well controlled race that. Good drive.
Well, folks. Well, well, well. There you have it. Hamilton wins by a country mile and then some. He could park up, brew a cup of tea, sip it, and then get back and still win. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
This is a result truly
To be
worthy
fair,
of a champion.
we haven't seen it
Lewis
that
Hamilton.
bad before. This is the first time I've seen it this horrendous, the AI's ability to negotiate wet weather. It's never been that bad. You know. Oh, yeah. I mean, starting on me, yeah, that was what I mentioned earlier. It's just come to me. Yeah, when I said about things to improve, yes, obviously strategy is one thing that you're overtaking the cars. But yeah, just simple things like starting on medium tyres when it's going to rain in 5 laps. Nobody was in real life would do that. It's obviously a soft start. Do 5 laps, stick on inters. I mean, it's clear, isn't it? So everybody naturally started on mediums. It's like, oh, okay, fine. But yeah, so they just need to iron out some stuff. And who knows, maybe they will. Hopefully they will. But anyway, here we go. Here is the full race classification. Lando does nab fastest lap. We could have tried to push for fastest lap with Lewis, but we'll let Lando take this one because he's obviously in need of an extra point given his few slip-ups. He made up 10 places in the end. Sergio Perez second, Russell in third, Verstappen finished in fifth. Sainz in 6th. Leclerc managed to get his way back up to 7th. So there you go. Driver's title is looking like this. Lewis Hamilton is now a whopping 57 points clear. Is anybody going to stop him? If the only person that can, realistically, is his teammate, and if his teammate continues to qualify horrendously and spin off in the race, then that's not going to happen, clearly, is it? So Norris is going to have to pick his game up. This season's performance, let's have a look at it. So Lewis, 6 wins this season, 10 podiums and 2 fastest laps, 4 pole positions out of 10 races. He's never finished off the podium so far this season. Not a bad record. Lando with 2 wins to Lewis's 6, 7 podiums out of 10 to Lewis's 10, fastest laps 3 to Lewis's 2, and no pole positions. And then we've got Max with 1 win, 3 podiums and 4 poles. The same as Lewis there. So that's quite an interesting little screen, which I don't usually pay attention to. Just the stats for the season. Quite cool. Constructors wise, we have won 8 of the 10 races. So we're not going to pull off a kind of a McLaren 15 out of 16 jobby. But winning 8 out of 10 isn't bad, is it? To be honest with you. 10 podiums, 5 fastest laps and 4 pole positions. That pole position number should start to rise now as we are starting to show competitiveness in qualifying. So Red Bull miles behind. Ferrari slipping up again today. Red Bull shouldn't really get second in the constructors, but you know, they've got Max in behind the wheel who pulls off a lot of points that he probably shouldn't do, to be fair. But yeah, that's how things are looking. Now, the ominous thing for the opposition, the very ominous thing, we lost driver bonuses, but we got some decent sponsorship here, including our performance incentives. The streak was the big one there, 1.4 million for finishing in a certain position 5 times in a row. So the bad thing for the opposition is that we have just finished our underfloor. Now this is a significant upgrade. Significant. So we're going to stick it on the car and see what it does to our performance. So let's take a look at our performance at the minute in comparative to the rest of the grid. See, the trouble with it is, actually, as I'm saying this, it was focused on cornering as it usually is, so it's not going to improve our straight line speed. So our cornering is already pretty good. So if we do our car analysis, it's not going to make a massive difference if we look at the rank, because we're already the best up here, to be fair. So 4 days is the Austrian Grand Prix, so that, you know, we're going to do it anyway. So let's go to the underfloor here. Let's go to a manufacturer. Let's go to emergency. We've got money to burn. We're going to build 3 of these in an emergency. We're going to equip them on the car, and then we're going to go back and see the car analysis, rank on grid. Oh, it has made a big difference. We're now up to 13th and 9th on top speed. That's an improvement. That's an improvement. That's a significant improvement, in fact. Obviously, we're already the best at cornering, and this cornering will be even more insane now. And even DRS, top speed and acceleration, we're now in the top 10 for both of these. Ooh. This doesn't bode well for our opposition, then. This does not bode well at all. So Austria is a twisty circuit. It's going to be good for high-speed cornering. Let's have a look at the track, actually, the track guide, before we finish the session here. How many races we've got left? 1. Oh, shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 races to go, so we're almost halfway through the season. Right, so that's 4 races a week. Jesus, that's a bit more of a rush than I thought. But we will get to the end of the season before my holiday. So the Austrian Grand Prix, we need top speed and high speed cornering. Okay. Well, our high speed cornering is pretty good, and our top speed is getting better. So, yeah, it's going to bode ill for the opposition. That floor upgrade, a significant upgrade, is going to be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of races as to our performance. I think we're going to be absolutely peeing all over the opposition now. As you know, we may change the regulations. Sporting regs for next season. We propose a new scoring system that will see the top 8 drivers with a smaller gap between first and second place. So currently it's 25. Oh, it's going back to almost like the old system. The old system was 10, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This new system proposed is 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So top 8 rather than top 6. I think it was 10, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. There was no 5. It was 10, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what it used to be. They're proposing 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So interesting. So less cars get points, but for those that do, it's a bit tighter. Interesting. I'm going to vote for this change because I'm not going to be here, and it'd be quite interesting for a bit of something different. That's my only rationale for making that decision. Did it pass, or when do we check? When do we find out? Important email. We will find out later in the season. Right. Okay. Right, folks. We are at the Red Bull Ring with a brand new floor. Okay. Significant flaw. In fact, what we need to also do is, because we have designed our floor now, we have actually a space for a new design project, which I forgot, so we'll have to design a new chassis now. That's the only part that we haven't upgraded this entire season. So we shall start designing a new chassis at the start of the next session. So there you go. Right, folks, there we have it. Our season continues to go well. Hamilton pulling away even further, the AI having a mare, but nonetheless, we shall take it. Next time, we shall see what happens in Austria. Enjoy your weekend, folks. Nothing coming tomorrow, but there will be CK2 on Sunday evening. Looking forward to that. So, yes, another lovely weekend weather-wise here in the UK. So if you're going to have any sort of barbecue, be sat in the beer garden, just be sat in your back garden, reading a book, whatever you choose to do, I hope you enjoy it. And I shall hopefully see some of you on Sunday evening. So go forth, enjoy the rest of your evening, folks. Have a good one. And until next time, I'll see you soon.